Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 4. Our group members are Nurhuda binti Shidin, Nur Fazura binti Ishaq, Husna binti Abdul Jalil, and Fairuz Farhana binti Zaini. Our group has chosen country Afghanistan. This video presentation consists of 5 contents. The first one is introduction. Second one is unemployment in Afghanistan. Third one is type and factors of unemployment. The fourth one is measures taken to control unemployment. And the last one is suggestions to control the unemployment. So today I will explain about the definition, the types, and also the effects of unemployment. So first of all, what is unemployment? According to the Oxford Students Dictionary 2011, this term, which is unemployment, refers to the circumstance in which a person of working age, which is from 16 to above, is unable to find a job but wants to work full-time job. This means anyone without a job who is reaching out to contacts about jobs or applying to positions. So this term of unemployment is frequently used as a gauge of the country's economic health. Next, unemployment can be classified as frictional unemployment, cyclical, seasonal, structural, and also technological. So firstly, the unemployment due to friction is usually caused by transient changes in a worker's life. For example, when someone needs to relocate to a new place and must find a new job. So people who are just entering the job force, such as newly graduated college students, are likewise to be affected by this type of unemployment. Frictional unemployment is a normal aspect of the job process and it only lasts for a short period. So frictional unemployment, on the other hand, is beneficial to the economy since it allows workers to migrate to more productive positions or jobs. Secondly, the cyclical unemployment. The contraction stage of the business cycle is what causes cyclical unemployment. So when the demand for goods and services drops sharply, the economy will be hit hard. So many businesses are forced to lay off huge numbers of employees to save money so that the business can keep on operating. Cyclical unemployment also causes additional unemployment when workers who have been laid off have less money to spend on the goods and services that they require. This will reduce the demand even further. Thirdly, the seasonal unemployment is also one of the types of unemployment. So as the name suggests, seasonal unemployment is caused by seasonal fluctuations or seasonal changes. For example, resort workers, ski instructors, and ice cream vendors are among those who are affected by seasonal unemployment. And also, people who gather crops could be included. In most parts of the country, construction workers are laid off during winter, and there are some countries which their fishermen is unable to catch fish during rainy season. Next, structural unemployment usually occurs when economy shifts, which resulting in a mismatch between employees' talents and skills employers require. So this type of unemployment usually creates a long recession if workers are unemployed for an extended period, their abilities are likely to become obsolete or outdated. So they may remain unemployed even if the economy improves, unless they are ready and able to take a lower level unskilled job. If this occurs, structural unemployment will result in a higher natural unemployment rate. Lastly, technological unemployment. This type of unemployment arises from labor-saving technique of production or new technology which requires workers with a different set of skills. Workers must now learn how to manage the machines that have taken their jobs. Since this new era, our technology is more advanced than back then. Those that don't learn will either need to retrain for new jobs or they need to quit their current jobs, which needs the new technological skills. There are some effects that occurs because of unemployment. When unemployment rates remain high and stable, the long-term economic growth will suffer. So unemployment wastes resources which cause redistributive pressures and distortions, raises poverty, restricts labor mobility, um, and fosters social dissatisfaction and conflict. There are three types of impacts associated with unemployment, which are individual, economic, and also social. The individuals is affected where unemployed individuals are unable to generate enough money to meet their financial responsibilities. Homelessness, disease, and emotional stress can all result from unemployment. It can also result in under unemployment, where workers will take the positions that are beneath their skill level. As for the effects that affects the country's economy, um, is high unemployment, which means that the government will receive less taxation revenue but will have to pay more on unemployment benefits. Therefore, there will be less money to spend on other areas such as education and health. So, economic growth will also be affected as it will decrease consumption. Meanwhile, unemployment results in lower moral and human suffering, which will affect the company. The family unit will be affected if the sole breadwinner loses his or her job. In addition, social problems will arise if the unemployment turn to drugs or crimes.
Employment rate in Afghanistan. Based on the International Labour Organization ILB stated that Afghanistan has the highest number of employment rate in the world, which is 11.10% in 2018. After 2 years, the employment rate has increased by 0.06%. The latest, December 2020, Afghanistan employment rate is 11.7%. The major cause of unemployment in Afghanistan is because of prolonged war and lack of proper education system. Half of the population live with minimum income. Many of employment men join the militant group or smugglers. The government need to make an action to overcome this problem and improve the Afghanistan economy. economic growth in Afghanistan. Historically, Afghanistan had to face many economic challenges and hardships during the 1979 Soviet invasion and civil war that had occurred much limited resources that had been destroyed. In the end, economy Afghanistan went from traditional economy to planned economy until 2002. It was replaced by free market economy. Since 1980s, gross domestic product (GDP) had been considerably reduced due to disturbance of trade and transport, and also loss of labor and capital. In January 2002, at Tokyo Donors Conference, many international attempts to help Afghanistan by rebuilding Afghanistan reconstruction, with $4.5 billion collected for a trust fund. It was managed by the World Bank. Priority for the education, health, and the development agriculture sector, and many more. Based on International Monetary Fund, Afghanistan economy had grown by 20% in the fiscal year ending March 2004. The economic growth with the help of international aid. Approximate $100 billion of aid had entered the nation from 2002 to 2021. The GDP of $4 billion in fiscal year 2003 recalculated to $6.1 billion, including profits from opium production. So now the average pay for graduates is 56 cents per hour in 2010. The country will be expected with enough resources such as wheat, rice, fowl, and dairy by 2026. The unemployment rate graph in Afghanistan. If you look at the graph above represents the unemployment rate in Afghanistan, taken from the World Bank in 2000 until 2020. Based on the graph, the highest value is 11.73%, which is the latest in 2020, and the minimum value is 10.98%, which is in the year 2019. The average value of unemployment rate in Afghanistan is 12% during the year 2000 and 2020. As we can see in the graph, the lowest value of unemployment rate in Afghanistan is 10.98%, which is in 2019. But within a year, it increased a lot by 0.75%. That means that in 2020, the unemployment rate is 11.73%, which is considered the highest, the maximum value of unemployment rate. This is because of the pandemic of COVID-19, where almost every country faced economic problems. Hence, this is why the unemployment rate in Afghanistan increased in a very large number by within a year, which is from 2019 to 2020.
Afghanistan comes in the list of the top 20 countries with high unemployment, where the unemployment rate is estimated 40%, and around 80% of those who age 15 to 24 are available to work and seeking for employment, while 60% of the employed workforce are working in low productivity. Those who are employed rarely have the security of regular working hours, in a safe environment, and their typical monthly income rarely exceeds 5,000 AFN, which is roughly comparable to 262 MYR. Unemployment is a major issue in Afghanistan, and it is inextricably tied to the country's security condition. Despite billions of dollars in international aid, no initiative for long-term employment have been attempted in Afghanistan for the last 15 years. In 2014, the Afghan Ministry of Labor, Social Affairs, Martyrs and Disabled announced that roughly 800K Afghans were unemployed out of the total labor force of 10 million. However, according to a recent World Bank report, for about 2 million Afghans were unemployed in 2013 and 2014, with the majority of them being young and women. The type of unemployment that involved in Afghanistan is frictional, technological, and structural unemployment. There are some factors behind the unemployment in Afghanistan for the year 2010 until 2020, which are lack of technical education, insecurities and instabilities, low economic growth, and the return of Afghan migrants from other countries. So, first of all, Afghanistan's educational system has numerous flaws and does not meet international standards. Educational institutions are split into two categories, which are private and public sector. The government colleges are frequently accessible, but they have insufficient facilities and poor educational quality. As a result of which, its graduates are unable to acquire jobs that require specific talents. Although the private colleges are well equipped, they are costly, and majority of the students can afford them. So, at some degree, Afghanistan's unequal education system is to blame for unemployment. The educational system is ineffective in preparing youth for high demands. Theoretical education is not the same as practical education. Youngsters are not adequately prepared to face the difficulties of the modern generation, so they are not taught about the new technology and their applications which are required for job search. Next, insecurity and the continuing of country's war, as well as lack of investment in facilities that can employ people, have resulted in unemployment in Afghanistan. Furthermore, corruption, poor governance, and the insecurities and the inability of Afghan ministries to utilize their overall revenue has resulted in the unemployment of hundreds of Afghan youth, while tens of thousands of positions in public sector organizations remain vacant or occupied by fictitious employees. Thousands of families were forced to flee their homes as the country's violence and insecurity worsen, because most of them have lost their homes and normal income sources. The settlement of internally displaced people in cities is another factor contributing to the increase in unemployment in Afghanistan. Lastly, in comparison to Afghan refugees who stayed at Pakistan, those who returned to Afghanistan between 2014 to 2017 had a worse financial situation and confront many economic hardships. Since they had returned to their homeland, their opportunities to seek for job hunting is very low because there are many other Afghans that are still unemployed by that time. Hence, the return of Afghan refugees increased the unemployment in their country.
Next, we go to the measures taken by the government and NGO to control the unemployment problem in Afghanistan. So, based on discovered and facts in the study on unemployment problem in Afghanistan, we can see that unemployment problem is actually a major economic problem in Afghanistan. So, this current study proposed to measure the action that must be taken by the government and NGO in control the unemployment problem in Afghanistan. Okay, so we go to the action taken by the government. Okay, so government actually play a main role character in fixing an unemployment problem in this country. Okay, so the government need to upgrade their policy and insert the innovation to eradicate the unemployment issue. Okay, this country use two policy, which is the fiscal policy and also the monetary policy. Okay, where the current fiscal policy stand by the Afghan government is living within the mean, where this policy and also the monetary policy can help in stabilize the macroeconomy and solving unemployment problem. So these two policies are very important, where the lack of this policy can lead to the poor growth economy. Okay, so first, what Afghan government need to do is they must give more attention to the platform that offering employment opportunities such as in an industrial development sector. Okay, it is because Afghanistan is having the biggest crisis, which is war, and they need more employee in this sector. Okay, so Afghan government need to increase the imperative of worker in industrial development. Okay, next, the requirement of entrepreneurship and also a small scale industry should be priority in this country. Okay, it is because the entrepreneurship can help in reducing the unemployment problem. So Afghan government need to encourage entrepreneurship to start their own business, so there will be more job opportunity for unemployed. Okay, so after that, since Afghanistan is an agricultural country, so 85% people of Afghanistan is depend on agriculture production itself. So the Afghan government facility need to transfer the agriculture production to the market for this production so that the productivity of the Afghan farmer will be increased. Okay, and it will support the domestic product. So by taking this action, the agriculture sector can be enhanced and it can help in making economy grow. So this action will lead in reducing the unemployment problem as well. Okay, beside that, economic crisis and education system are relating to each other as the factor that causes high rate of unemployment problem in Afghanistan. So mean that if individual have the lack of professional skill, then they will be having a difficult time to get a job. So government need to improve the professional skill in education sector. Okay, it is because most of the jobless people in Afghanistan are among the university graduates, and by improve their skill, it can increase Afghan rate of employment so that more people are approved to be working in this country. Alright, after that, action taken by the NGO. So NGO also take part as an assistant that helping the government to achieve their objective in reducing the rate of unemployment in this country. NGO have taken part in providing a job opportunity to the people in Afghanistan, where government have made a strategy with the NGO to undertake investment. So in achieve the goal to reduce the unemployment rate, Afghan government and also NGO must encourage more investment that can give a benefit in providing job opportunity to the people as well as it able in reducing the unemployment problem. So by increasing the investment, Afghan government and can achieve their objective by using the total investment that come from the NGO to develop problems that have been planned. So Afghan can maintain their macroeconomy and the income for this country will be increased.
There are some suggestions to improve the current situation in the Afghanistan that required the Afghan government to take some action, such as The Afghan government must examine the work markets to evaluate the work opportunities for its workers. This is because each year there are 400,000 graduates enter the Afghan labour market and faces fierce competition to get a job. If the Afghan government know how the work market works, they can create some jobs that require a lot of people and also can high up their economy rates. This can cover up their losses in the labour market. Secondly, the government also should develop an orderly and effective system that can manage the economy migration so the people's economic condition develops and the rate of unemployment in the country can decrease. This is because Afghanistan is one of the countries that 16% of the economic growth is due to these economic migrants. The government should make an agreement with the other countries to let their citizens go to other countries for work. With these agreements, the government can make the system more systematic about who wants to stay in the country or who wants to go, will be sent to the other countries or make some contracts within the workers. Next is the government can emphasizing their education and training. This is used by Japan, which is one of the countries that has the lowest unemployment rate. Regarding vocational education, Japan encouraging their schools to deepen ties with industries and also focuses on the reform of technical education. They emphasize the most on career education and career guidance that start from elementary school so that their students can make a lot of preparation for what they want to be when they grow up. It will be equally in each field if the student know more about the industry. This because in Afghanistan there is no concept of counseling service and career guidance for the student. So many of them take the wrong subject that cannot ensure better career opportunities. Next is the Afghan government should increase their education so it will equally match with international standard. The government sectors should cooperate with their private sectors so they can have high quality facilities and students can still afford them. This system of education is responsible to make quality labor and can decrease their unemployment rate. The efficient system of education make the youth more prepared for the market demands and prepared to challenge the new era. Lastly, the government should increase the variety of jobs in the country because it is one of the reasons why there are a lot of Afghan laborers migrate from the country. Not only unskilled laborers but also the skilled and educated laborers migrate so they can have a better life and with no prospect of returning home. With the increased various occupation, they can make the youth feel they have a spot on the wishes job after they graduate. With this suggestion, if the government undertakes some action, they can prevent their unemployment rate to increase.